What is going on, guys? Hopefully you will forgive the audio quality. I am on my way back from my sister's wedding, flying back from the East Coast. Doubly blessed. Not only did I get to see my sister get married, my little sister get married, but I got to perform the wedding ceremony. And triply blessed, I like the guy that she's marrying. That said, I took quite a bit off work, and I didn't get any recording done while I was back there. I rarely go to the East Coast. It takes something like my sister getting married for me to get me east of the Mississippi River. I don't like going back east. Anyway, you might hear some background noise and some things like that. I wanted to get an episode, get some content out for you guys, though. The show must go on. So I've got a layover here in Denver, and I wanted to talk to you about carrying reloads. I'm talking about for your carry gun, for E.D.C. Now, a lot of people will say not to carry reloads, but they'll do it for a different reason, I think, primarily than me. I am not going to deny that we live in a litigious society today where people sue people for making their coffee too hot or whatever. That's not the primary reason. A overzealous district attorney prosecuting you for carrying reloads, that's not my primary concern. Here's the deal. If you want bona fides, check the bio in the show notes. But here's the deal. I have been reloading off and on since I was a kid. For some quick bona fides on reloading, I have several competition wins. I have several state championships with reloaded ammo. To give you an idea, that tells you that I can reload ammo fairly well. Right? You don't get that by accident. You don't get that with unreliable reloads. You don't get that with garbage reloads. You have to have fairly good reloads for that. So just to lay that out there, I know my way around reloading, and I like to reload. That said, I do not advocate you carry in your carry loads reloaded ammo if you have other choices. And grid up, left of apocalypse, you do have options, at least for now. Here's the deal. As good as I can reload, I don't think that I can reload defensive ammunition to the quality and performance of good factory reloads. Now, there's a reason why the good premium quality, I'm not talking about garbage, Bargain Basement, Wolf, Tula ammo. I'm talking about premium quality defensive ammo in 2025. There's a reason why it's generally expensive. You're like, oh, it's, $30 a box for 20 rounds. Well, there might be a lot of good reasons for that. Things like, slick nickel-plated cases. You may want that if you're shooting a semi-auto. For ease of extraction, for low light chamber checks, for other reasons, lack of corrosion, things like water sealed primers so that gun cleaning oil and solvent and sweat and water don't get into your primer pocket, things like the bullet being chemically sealed or very well crimped into the case so that it's also watertight, things like low flash powder so that fighting at night, that may be a desired quality. It may not be. You may not care about that. But if you do, you can get that in premium quality defensive ammo. You also get really, really good reliability. As good as I can reload and make reloads, I don't think that I can make them as good as premium quality defensive. And I'm not brand loyal to this. Take your pick. Winchester Rangers. Winchester Ranger T, Federal HST, Spear Gold Dots. I don't think I can reload to that quality and consistency. And here is the coming up on the big primary reason why I don't advocate the reloads. Those big companies that have big law enforcement and defense contracts, military law enforcement, big agency, maybe foreign contracts, they have a lot of money to put into R&D. Handguns, especially 9mm, has come a long way in the past, let's say 15 20 years as far as its performance, mostly based on the balance of the hollow point. And by balance, I mean there's an inverse relationship between the expansion and the penetration. You want the bullet to expand, but when it does expand, it reduces its ability to penetrate because it has a larger frontal area, and that's how physics work. So it's this delicate balancing act to get it to penetrate deep enough, not over-penetrate, and expand to do more damage, because any pistol caliber, and I don't care if you're a caliber warrior, I don't care if it's 9, 40, 45, 357 SIG, all of them are pretty ineffective compared to shotguns and rifles. You don't carry a handgun because it's the best stopping thing. You carry it because it's what you can have on you conveniently. And to maximize the minimal calibers in a handgun, there is a lot of balance to be struck between penetration and expansion. Not to mention other characteristics you might look at, like penetration through windshields, car doors, drywall, and all that stuff. Those big companies have the money to R&D. Even if you get ballistics gel and you reload and shoot a bunch of that, are you doing it to the quantity? Are you doing it for a couple of rounds, or are you doing it for a couple of 100 rounds? Over different distances, over different barrel test lengths, over this, over that? Are you shooting it through windshields? Probably not, right? I'm not doing that. I've never done that. And by the time you do that, you're spending way more money than you would just to buy really good quality ammo that they've done that for, because they do that testing and then they make, thousands and thousands of that rounds of that ammo. You're not doing that. So the reason I don't advocate carrying reloads is they're not going to be as, in general, not going to be as well tailored to the task at hand. They're not going to be as effective, as reliable, as consistent at the task at hand. And, if you have to use your carry gun in self-defense, that's a serious, serious matter. Better not take chances with that. The reason I advocate you carry good quality factory ammo is not because I'm sponsored by some ammo company. I don't care which brand you choose. It's the fact that I think it's a better choice for defending you or somebody else's life. That's the main reason. And even if it were equal, even if it was a dead tie, then you could throw in there, getting sued for carrying reloads, which may or may not be a thing. But if it was even, maybe you'd go with the factory ammo just for that reason. But I don't think it's even. I think you're better off with good premium quality defensive ammo. Now, if it's a good shoot, it should be a good shoot either way. That's the way that I think. But I just think you're better off from a quality standpoint and an effectiveness standpoint with good premium quality modern defensive ammo. Those are my thoughts. Appreciate you guys. Your tactical verse of the day: you shall do no injustice in judgment and measurements of length, weight, or volume. You shall have honest scales and honest weights, an honest ephah and an honest tin. Thanks, and have a blessed day.